You see, a lot of people have ideas. Each and every one of us, we usually encounter that creative spark. A moment when you get that a creative idea, that's an innovative idea that you think is going to change the world. But then there is both Einstein and the ordinary citizen, the ordinary person that you've probably not heard about, have almost the same ideas. They conceive almost the same ideas. And we have a lot of ideas every day that come to our mind. But what actually distinguishes the people who take on those ideas, who take their own ideas and then materialize them into something very successful and outstanding in the society? What distinguishes them from the every other person, the 99% of people out there who still have these ideas but do not materialize them? And that is where idea management comes in. Hello and welcome again to this edition of Clear Thinking Digest. My name is Go. Today I'd like to talk about an important feature, an important thing that distinguishes the top 1% people from every other person. And I'm talking about especially when it has to do with creativity and the ability to take an idea and then manifest that idea into a finished product to create something of value that the society would appreciate. So I want to talk about idea management. And I think this is the distinguishing feature that comes up when it talk about people who are crushing it at the top 1% of their career when it comes to the things they create and bring out to the site. So I'm talking about the Elon Musk of this world. We're talking about the Zuckerberg, the Bill Gates, the Steve Jobs of this world, Albert Einstein. The very thing that distinguishes these people from every other person is not because of an extraordinary genius that they have, that they possess. It's actually about the ability to manage idea. It's what I call idea management. These people understand how to take an idea and take it from the point of conception to the point of utmost maturation when it becomes a full-blown reality. So how do they do this? To understand what idea management is all about, you have to understand what an idea is in the first place. An idea is like a seminal seed that contains a creative force. An idea is a seminal seed that has a creative energy. It is a creative force that comes from outside. It doesn't come from inside. Ideas come from outside. It comes from people's social interactions and people's interactions with their immediate environment. So when you engage your environment, you understand when your mind rubs like a friction. It interacts with the environment and interacts with others, and from there emerges new realities of new creative energy for how to solve friction in the society. The essence of every idea is that it gets to a point whereby you can take that creative force, that creative energy, and utilize it into something meaningful that can solve a friction in the society. That is the essence, that's the end point. And so this is what an idea is all about when it comes to helping people solve problems. To help you understand this a little bit better, I'm going to talk about a concept introduced by Steven Johnson that talks about adjacent possible. According to Steven Johnson, he says that the adjacent possible is the place where ideas that can birth new future, that can birth new realities, innovation, are hovering within the horizons of the future, where they can be harnessed and then taken and brought into reality. So he's talking about all of the very things that people are doing in the present moment, and how those things that they are doing can be brought together to use to create a new reality that can birth a new future. So what it means is that for you to conceive a creative idea that can take on a new reality and then birth a new reality, you want to be in the space where the ideas that are ruling the world today, the things that are actually bringing value to people are being created. So if you are in a space where the ideas, the current ideas of the world, that the current ideas that are ruling the world, that are dominating the world, are emerged, are processed. If you are in the spaces where these ideas are processed and put into place, you stand a better chance of coming up with more creative and realistic ideas that can become innovative or to create new realities to solve problems in the future. So what does it take for an idea to become successful? You see, a lot of people have ideas. Each and every one of us, we usually encounter that creative spark, a moment when you get that a creative idea, that's an innovative idea that you think is going to change the world. But the thing there is, both Einstein and the ordinary citizen, the ordinary person that you've probably not heard about, have almost the same ideas. They conceive almost the same ideas. And we have a lot of ideas every day that come to our mind. But what actually distinguishes the people who take on those ideas, who take their own ideas and then materialize them into something very successful and outstanding in the society? What distinguishes them from every other person, the 99% of people out there who still have these ideas but do not materialize them? And that is where idea management comes in. So what is idea management? Idea management is your ability to utilize your creative potentials, to utilize your cognitive resources, and then put it into use in conceiving new ideas and in taking an idea from its moments of conception to its moments of fruition. Your ability to utilize your cognitive resources, the limited cognitive resources that you have, to take them and then put them into meaningful use, and then utilize and then use it in managing idea, the creative force of idea, from the moment of conception to its moment of fruition. So what determines whether you would be able to take on an idea and bring it to its final conclusion? The first and the most important thing that determines whether you're going to take an idea and make it a successful one is the quality of the mind that you have. And when I'm talking about the quality of the mind that you have, I'm talking about your ability to hold the creative force of ideas. Because I told you that an idea is a creative force. The quality of your mind to be able to hold the force, the energy, the creative energy of an idea when it comes to your mind, the first instance, the first time it hits. The ability of your mind to hold that energy and sustain it, play with it, take it, hold it, and then communicate it to others. That point, that first moment counts a lot in your ability to take an idea and bring it to fruition. The first reaction that happens when a creative idea comes to your mind, do you dismiss it and say, oh, it's not going to work? Do you think about how the myriad of impossibilities, the myriad of challenges that is going to hit and make that idea unattainable? Or do you actually relish the moment, the relish in the glory, in the dream of the moment, the dream that the idea brings to you? Is important. What your mind does at the first instance an idea hits you. People in conducive environments tend to do better when it comes to managing ideas when the first hit than people in unconducive environments. Because when you talk about environment, you're talking about the conditions necessary for the creation of our outcome. So if you are in a relatively stable environment, and when I talk about that, I also mean the kind of people you mingle with, the kind of parents you have, the kind of home you have, the kind of realities that are happening around there, whether you live in the forest area or in the rainforest area or in a city, all of these things come into place. Your ability to take that idea and make it a successful one, the reaction that happens the first instance that the idea hits, is determined by your environment and also the quality of the mind you have. The quality of your mind that you have is determined by your environment. So you want to get yourself in in a comfortable environment. It helps a lot when it comes to shaping the quality of your mind to hold ideas, hold the creative force and energy that ideas come, so that your mind can match the creative force that the idea comes with. If the quality of your mind is not advanced enough to hold the creative energy, the creative force of an idea, is going to weigh you down and it's going to dissuade you. The second thing that is equally important when you talk about how successful an idea is going to be when it comes to your management and taking it to fruition is the kind of people you communicate your ideas to. Now, once an idea hits your mind and you ruminate on that idea, you contemplate it, you usually notice that you're usually excited and you want to share it with people. But you want to be careful the kind of people you share your ideas with, especially the first three persons that you share that idea with. If the first three persons that you share your idea, the new idea that comes to you, have a low quality of mind that cannot hold the creative force, the creative energy of that idea, you're going to run into a problem, because ideas grow with momentum. Ideas, they are creative force. They are energies. An idea is an energy. It is a creative force. Now, for it to continually grow, for it to become manifested, it has to, the creative force within that energy has to be sustained, and it has to be increased as it goes on. So the momentum with which that idea hits has to be sustained and then upped and then increased as you go along. So you want to make sure that when the idea hits your mind and then you have the quality of your mind is enhanced enough to hold it and then to sustain that energy, that when you pass on that energy to the next mind, that the quality of mind that the person you communicating that idea to is also the quality of the person that person's mind is it's high enough to sustain that momentum and then up the ante and then increase the momentum so that the idea will keep expanding. This is why it's important that you are very careful with the people, the 3 and the 5 closest persons around you, the people in your team. You want to make sure that these people have a great quality of mind that can hold ideas, play with them, use them, and then creatively deploy them in problem solving. If you have people who have low quality of mind, they're going to dissuade you, they're going to discourage you, and they're going to reduce the momentum of that idea, and the idea will die. Ideas have lifespan, and it's important that you understand this. Now, the lifespan of an idea is directly proportional to the cognitive space that your mind has for that idea. Every idea requires a certain cognitive space in your mind, a certain cognitive space in the brain for its energy to be sustained and then for the momentum to be held and then increased. Now, when I talk about cognitive space, I encourage you to check out my video where I talked about the cognitive resources of the mind, where I explained cognitive space. You can understand what cognitive space is there. So it is important that you understand that every idea requires a cognitive space, which is the amount of cells, neurons dedicated to that idea, to processing the information that idea brings on, so that you can use it and then utilize it in problem solving. So the lifespan of your idea is directly related to the size of the cognitive space that your mind has for processing that idea. So if it's shorter, then you're not going to hold that idea for a long period of time and it's going to die off. You're going to suffer from mental laziness. You're going to give excuses and that idea is going to die off. But if you have enough cognitive space, and the cognitive space comes from study, it comes from your ability to think on a problem and then solve it and then engage in training your mind in the processing of ideas from a particular area. So if you devote your mind in doing that for a sustained period of time, you're going to create enough cognitive space so that when creative ideas come up, you have the cognitive space to manage them, to take them on, and then to grow their momentum until you take the ideas to the point of fruition. So this is my message for you today. It is important for you to understand that success is a hodgepodge of many things. There are a lot of things that come into when you talk about the reason why Mr. A is successful and Mr. B isn't successful. The ideas that I've expressed here are contained in my upcoming book, The Journey to 1%, where I detail the principles and strategies that you can utilize to upgrade your intelligence and then help to process information at a faster and a better rate that will enable you to take on your work and then do it at a masterful and excellent level that will take you to the 1%, to the top 1% of your career. So it's important that you understand that idea management is an important ingredient when it comes to taking on ideas and then taking them to the final fruition. It is very important in your success in your career. So thank you so much for listening to me today. I encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you're seeing this on YouTube, and like my Facebook page and hit the notification button so that you can get more of these videos as they drop every week. If you've got any questions, please drop them in the comments. I'm going to react to all of them in due time. Thank you so much. Till next time, stay in peace.